Hello everyone, my name is Chez, and welcome back to part 2 of the What If Dragon Man was in Seven Deadly Sins. In this video, the Dragon Man got one of his heads torn off by, or where we left off, by this guy, and his entire rest of his body got exploded. And as the as Gil Thunder couldn't believe that his own friend, that has deep trust with him, was a dragon the entire time. Under normal circumstances, usually knights kill dragons, but he was the friend to him, as everyone saw him got killed, but except for Gowther, because Gowther can detect his life signs. Here, where is that Gowther? So yeah, Gowther tells them that he's still alive, inside of his head, the one that got ripped off, and in order to go back into it, or as Elizabeth couldn't believe that her own friend died before, but when she heard that he's still alive, as the dragon decapitated head, a head, and looks, as his body started to mold back into the, off camera. So yeah, as he used the same techniques as what he learned from his recent encounters. Basically, he copied them. So he used, that, mixed with Wrath of the Thundergun, the attack that he used. Yeah. As he, basically, he basically beats a snot out of him. As he says, you has probably seen any of my true moves. As he used this attack called Lightning Lord, as he striking thunders, when the storm brewed and it attacked into him, he was basically cooked. And he basically he used his trying to survive all those attacks. As he says, and after saw those, like that one of my old demon friends, as he looks at him, as he or he turned away, and he looks at Bon and says, "I know it's you, Bon, that you killed my friend. Is there a reason why you killed my friend?" Yeah, he was burning down the Fairy King's forest nest, and I had to kill him. That's a good enough thing. And as he used Halo Fair. Yeah, he used that and punched him right in the chest. As he does, like, when he copied also her moves. So, like, 59, 100, 1,000. Yeah. His strongest attacks, when he could basically, he tries not to look at Diane's shoe. I said look, not lick. Look at the. Yeah, he was trying not to look at Diane's shoes. So, in order to, like, talk. Yeah. So he became like the same size as Droll and Lady Diane put together. As he's beating him, yeah. So, time skip. As, yeah. As they were, like, drinking. As he tells his friends that no matter how many heads that he have to lose in my dragon form, I'll always be getting them and kicking right back. Okay? So what the heck was that? I heard like someone's phone going off. That's just weird. So yeah, time skip to when the like 10 commandments came, and yeah, as Zarathustra, or like the 10 commandments were like, oh, now it's time for us to take our revenge on the four or racism things, the other racisms, and plus he they actually was basically fighting each other's. But when Floudrin tells that one of us, or actually the Zaratros, or no, the Meliodas' brother, or your brother Zaratros, is still alive. And when Derry heard that, or all the 10 Commandments heard he's still living, as she's so ready to go, see him right now, as they're like, hold on, it might be, okay? Are you telling the truth? Or you must be telling the truth. Well, if that's true, why hasn't he showed up when... Yeah, so as Gil Thunder is in his like calm clothes, as he tells his own friend, as he says this. And I tell him, as Gil, or only person that really knew was Gulther, so he asks, or tells him, go right ahead, just tell him. I think he might be mad at me for not telling him in the first place, so... As when he was walking around, or when he was walking towards the boar hat thing with Dragon Man, as he says, I know this might seems weird, but how's your father doing? As he's like, well, he's dead because those jerks. As his own father, back of the Dragon Mind, or Dragon and Man's head, says, I'm not dead. Well, was one thing that, like, are you gonna get mad if I told you something? As he says, okay, tell me anything that... Okay. Your, like, father, the one that got into a pincushion one? And yeah. Well, that one wasn't your real father. Actually, it was a doll version of your father. How will I put this? Yes. I have your father inside my pocket universe. You care to see him? he's a real deal, not a fake one. As they as he knows that his friend and sometimes pulls pranks, but seeing how like he's so serious in his own face is like, okay. As yeah, when he let his father out, he couldn't believe that his own father was inside Dragon Man's pocket universe. As he starts crying and hugging his father. He couldn't believe that. See, as he tells he actually, I respect both of you, as I know that both of you are holy knights and I'm like born as a dragon. I know that probably you two will probably end up killing me, but as they know that he's a good friend, so they're like, thanks, man, that is just so dang awesome of you too. Okay? And yeah. And he says, don't worry, I already know. Oh, because in his pocket universe, he could, or I could see through his eyes. Yeah. So, yeah. And you're coming out really good, hun son, or warrior. Here. And yeah. He basically and yeah. Even like his that wind guy, I forget his name, him he ends up and the big buff guy, like all three of them were surprised at his own like when he told them that. As they're like, holy crud, how long did you had this secret for? Well, I had it for a really long time. Yeah. So, yeah, he basically was a dragon man. He keeps his words. True. Well. And, yeah. And the person that fell in love with his human form, that saw his dragon form, was actually, I wasn't going to bring her into this what if, because one, she mostly sees as a gimmick. Yeah, her. She was spying on him because she loves him, because Absolute adores him, because she saw his dragon form and she wants him. That's, yeah. As, yeah. as he's like, because the Dragon Man, when he got reincarnated, and or like when he came back, he he was a soldier. Yeah, so now they time skip to him meeting the four archangels. Him, him, and him, and him. So he's like, they're like, as um, as they all four know him as, oh, this is the, or actually the knight says, oh, this is the, or king tells them that this is the knight of the dragons, but his real name, as he says, we already know who his real name is, Dragon Man. You probably have an undying hatred for us. No, I don't, actually. I just wanted to, like, I just want one punch from me to you, so, because that, you, guess you were the one that chopped my head off, am I right? Yeah, as they're like, yeah, sorry about that. We thought you were a vampire. As he looks at them, he says this. Why did you think I was a vampire in the first place? I'm a dragon. The vampires are different from dragons. So, unless I'm the, like, fusion of the two, I'm still me. So, no of this cred. So, okay. As, yeah. He says, I know that you're. Go ahead and punch me. Because we kind of deserve it. Okay. As he hits hard enough, sending him flying. And that feels much better. As the king couldn't believe that the Dragon Man's strength was enhanced, he kept my word. One punch, that's it. Okay? As they're like, yeah. Man. As he was like totally calm as a cucumber. Okay? As he's visiting with the rest of them. So now it's time for Derry to come and visit with him. And when in his dragon form, when he really gets mad, it becomes like what he has. Like turns everything into dark. Yeah. So as he flies with Lady Diane, as he saw his own girlfriend again, or two girlfriends. In this alternate timeline, there's 12 commandments. Yeah. The first commandment is to Dragon Man. And his commandment is trust. It is a weaker version of the truth, Gallon of Truths, no? But it's very powerful against, like, people that have, like, oh, I trust you with, it's like, my car. Or trust you with my house. I want you to take care of it. All that stuff. Oh. But instead of turning people to stone, it just freezes them in place. And it's like a time-stopping one. Yeah, so basically, but their body doesn't age. So yeah, and the number 12th person, let's go over to her. Yes. She ends up being a 12th commandment. Yeah. She has a weaker version of Malaskala's faith one. And it was betrayal, basically. So whoever betrays the 12th commandment in her presence, or betrayed somebody, it was basically like, yeah, but mainly, so when she saw him again, and she can't believe that he's really alive. Both of them. Yeah. Oh, sorry. And both of them, like, flew right to him. And yeah. They both, like, how have you been? I thought you died, actually. We all thought you were dead. No. Oh. After I had my head chopped off. Huh? I'm still kicking and screaming. Okay? I also, punched a snot out of the person, or those Giannis's, because they were the ones that chopped my head off. because they thought I was a flippin' vampire back then. But dumb luck, he survived. You know how hard it was to put or he says this. You know how hard it was to put my entire body into one of my dragon's heads? Very hard. And that thing that I was eating was the M&Ms. So, yeah. So then, that was off topic. So now, so she ends up, instead of hitting him, like whack him, she actually, or they both put their arms around him, as they couldn't believe that, as they, of course, Melaskula says, "Thank goodness." So basically, you're still kicking and screaming. Yeah. It was pretty scary to basically put the entire body into one head and hope it didn't yeah. That was 2 times this week, or Gallon of Truth says, how about the third? As he's trying to be all instead of being oh, oh, how about me chop it off your head again? He has a sick humor, I know, in this What If, because usually he's super serious, but Meliodas did betray, but he didn't start the war. So they're just like, you jerk, you betrayed the entire demon nation for one beautiful girl that killed your own brother off. As he says, oh, it wasn't the Elizabeth that did it. You know who was actually the one? Not Escanor, but the Sun thing. So, yeah. So he was that guy. I forget his name, but he basically literally killed Ilm, as he's when after the punching one of the archangels. I feel better now. As the Demon King sees it through the 11 commandments' eyes, as he couldn't believe that he's still alive. That's impossible. But how? And his own, as he can tell that his father's looking, as he says, I know that you're watching, Demon King. As he says, I know that I might sound like a jerk, but how about having the... Of course, he knows because he's immortal, so he's basically like a Hydra, but instead of like, if you cut off a wrong head, it puts a curse on you. So yeah. As a time skip, him to about to that, because this video has gone a little bit too long, but that's okay. And he does tell Dara Airy and that whip girl, the one that like watch me whip thing. Some of you might not know who the heck am I talking about. Her to stay with him, because on the commandments things, except for Zartros, was like doing all that stuff. And yeah. As he doesn't want to basically end up killing anyone. Oh, so yeah. As Zartros was like, Thinking this here still living. As yeah. As it like Meliodas is like, oh, I'm already like Demon King. So yeah, the Demon King wasn't being like as yeah, he had to absorb 12 too. But Dragon Man tells his like both wives to hand over their commandments, as he it's as he tells them that in order to just like to get him away from you two or all of us, I'll basically please understand that. As yeah, she ends up understands that what has to be done, as the 10 Commandments absorbed by Meliodas, but or actually 9 of them were absorbed, but the other 3 like 10, 11, 12, was basically, so he ends up, as Meliodas says, I need 3 more, as he's told his brother that he's sorry to do this. As he stabs his brother in the chest and took away his commandments, all 3, and ate his soul. Oh. As his own, and couldn't believe that he, but dumb luck, he actually had the regeneration of, because he made a clone of his body. He made the 3 fake ones that are like super fake. So then when it was cursed of binding, lust, and hatred for themselves. So yeah. And for the soul, yeah. He chose, because he had one of the extra souls. And no, I'm not talking about the Empire chick's soul. He basically had 4 different souls. Or 5. So he got rid of one. Or he had 5 fake souls. So yeah. As Meliodas went from being when he absorbed all of them, instead of becoming what we saw in the anime, the one that instead of him, he turns into this disabled one. As he says, what? So yeah. As he says, thank goodness here, let's hug it out. As he explodes, as he used his own, or he doesn't actually kill Meliodas. He actually, when he absorbed all the 10 commandments into his doll part version of himself. Oh. And then self-destruct? Yeah. He destroyed all 12 commandments. As they were crying, and they can't believe that he's dead. But he's not dead. As he says, that's just fun. As Meliodas was yeah. As he looks at, he almost forgot about Zarathos. As when he heals Zarathos, he finally, I know that I remember the promise that I kept to you. As Zaratras looks at him and says, yeah, the one that about the vampire that long time ago? Yeah. I kept her safe. She's still alive. As she couldn't he couldn't believe what his truth. I am not joking with you. As he releases her, as she couldn't he couldn't believe that she's still alive. So then the Johannes's thing is, yeah. As he basically tells, yeah. So, yeah, he basically, I won't allow them to ruin your wedding, Lady Diane. Okay? I know that I see you as a giant, but I treat you as my own sister, okay? As she's blushing. As she picks me up and like does that. And yeah, so she's basically, yeah. She goes from like being all super serious to being like, thanks, Jan. You're the best. Or Dragon Man. Sorry. So yeah, he basically, as she says, are you sure? Yeah. If any of them comes around, or if anyone comes around that tries to interrupt your wedding, I'll be making sure that they won't be living any longer. As, yeah. So even she agrees. He's with him. As they were on guard, and yeah. Whole shenanigans. And yeah. He no unwanted visitors, please. As you were in the war, we will destroy you. Well, looks like someone has to be a party pooper right now. As he breathes it all in, as he calmly uses his wind ability. And you might be thinking, where's his other brother? Well, his other brother respects him so much, he doesn't want to end up battling. Yeah, so as he uses his tail to whip, as he told Gil Thunder to not lift any of those weapons up, because has the curse on them just to suck the life force out of the whoever wields it. Good to know. Thanks for telling us. As one of the giants takes the dragon's head off, as yeah, So, yeah. Then that happened. So they were like doing all that stuff. So, bye-bye. And before we go, I forgot to mention, here, I'll do it in the next video. So, please leave a like, share, subscribe.